203, just back up on it right there. Jesus, hold my hand. As I travel through this new road, when there is a friend who walks with me, leads me safely through the sinking sand, it is the Christ of Calvary. This would be my prayer, dear Lord, each day to help me to 202. Earthly way, land Appreciate y'all. Thank you for your patience.
And we appreciate you, but
I love all of y'all. Y'all been good to me. I appreciate it. He whispered sweet things to me.
yes, sir.
Sometime when misgive our heart just and face I cannot see, I ask my dear
Certainly thank God this morning to see each one of you come out in service. Thank God for that peace past all understanding. Peace, he said, I yield others to work you. I'm glad of that peace. This morning I hope you've come with a heart, if you will, a heart of rejoicing for yesterday's service. We had a wonderful time together. Thank God for the Holy Spirit as He just covered us up. Not just yesterday, but for the whole gathering. It's just been a wonderful place to be. As we would say this morning, welcome to the Saturday morning service. Let's just obey the Lord this morning. Be obedient. We'll have some more singing here in just a moment. And you know, when we just, if you're here this morning and you need the Lord in your life, you need to be saved by the grace of God. This is a great time just to surrender it all to the Lord. So we want to give way to Brother Dustin Lawson. He's here this morning. He's sung for us over the years now several times. I'd like to ask Brother Dustin if he would come lead us in a song. Lead a song for us.
Let's go. Joy to be a child of the High King.
It certainly is good to be here this morning. It's been blessed to be able to be here all day so far. I'm going to get to do that. But say this, I believe this time is winding down. And if you're here today and you don't know, don't walk out of this building until you do.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Life is full of heartaches and broken dreams. To live is not always as easy as it seems. But God is so faithful, so very true, and He really cares about you. Don't doubt it or deny it. See what God has done to prove that He loved us. He gave us His Son. Thank God for the answer. You know it's true that He really cares about you. Hearts that have been broken can be renewed. Christ knows how you're feeling, for His was broken too. Just pray and believe Him. That's what to do, for He really cares about you. Don't doubt it or deny it. See what God has done to prove that He loved us. He gave us His Son. Thank God for the answer. You know it's true that He really cares about you.
Appreciate that song. Appreciate that stuff. It's been requested that Jason and Robinette come and sing Palm of Victory. So that's really good.
Bless you. We preached pretty hard last night, so y'all pray for it.
Bless you, brother.
I saw a wayward traveler in tattered garments clad, while struggling up the mountain, it seemed that he was sad. His back was laid and
road, he saw that heavenly city, his everlasting home, and shouted loud, Hosanna, deliverance shall come. In arms of victory, crowns of glory, arms of victory, I shall wear. While gazing on that city, just o'er the narrow flood, a band of holy angels came from the throne of God. They bore him on their pinions, say o'er the dashing foam, and joined him in his triumph. Deliverance has come. In arms of victory, crowns of glory, arms of victory, I shall wear. It seems I hear the saints
Blessed
around the throne so grand, they're shouting hallelujah. We've reached the promised land. When we have reached that city, our race on earth is run. We'll all join in the triumph. Deliverance has come. Then arms of victory, crowns of glory, arms of victory, I shall wear. Someday I shall stand in God's city to receive the bright treasures I've won. But how can I ever accept them till I thank Him for what He has done? When I thank Him for what He has done, I must look back to the Christy Bible on that beautiful shore. I must kneel once more just to thank Him for what He has done. They say there will be no more sighing in that city when life's race is run. But how can I keep from crying when I thank Him for what He has done? When I thank Him for what He has done, I must look back to the Christy Bible on that beautiful shore. I must kneel once more just to thank Him for what He has done. Before I can shout hallelujah, before I can sing that sweet song, I must kneel at the feet of Jesus and thank Him for what He has done. When I thank Him for what He has done, I must look back to the Christy Bible on
Just to thank him for what he has
Appreciate it.
Glory to God.
Amen.
Praise the Lord. Thank the Lord, folks. Thank you for what he's done.
Amen.
Praise the Lord. It's good a time as any. I was going to welcome Brother Harold Vance to the service, but I believe the Lord has already welcomed him. Appreciate you, Brother Vance. Come down from Ohio to visit with us. We appreciate it. Thank God for him. Amen. Wonder if Jonathan and Sister Katie Shaw McBee, if they come sing.
Thankful to be here. Thankful for my salvation. Thankful for the many blessings that we've had poured on us. Oh, goodness.
Amen.
Pray for us as we, today is a very special service, memorial service. And I thought maybe this would be a real appropriate song to sing for this service. So pray for us as we try to do this. Hopefully I can get it in the right key. I'm just a poor, wayfaring stranger, while traveling through this world below. There is no sin, yes, toil of danger in that fair land through which I go. I'm going there to see my mother. She said she'd meet me when I come. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. I know dark clouds will gather round me. I know my way is hard and steep, but He is been a rise before me. Where God's redeemed, their vigils keep. I'm going there to see my Father and all my loved ones who've gone on. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm only going over home.
Amen.
I'll soon be free from every trial.
That's so true.
This one shall rest beneath the sun of the cross.
Yeah.
On
appreciate the wonderful singing. Thank God for that. I hesitate, I have one song I'd like to add to the singing part of the service this morning. Thought about the songs we've heard, thought about the specialness of the service as we think about what we have in the Lord. This morning, if you're here without Jesus Christ as your Savior, then what you can understand with your mind can't even begin to touch what really is happening in the Christian's life.
Yes.
Well, you see, it's not with intellect, it's not with wisdom of men, it's not with understanding, if you will, of the mind that you come to the Lord, but it's with the heart. If you're here today and you don't have the Lord in your heart, if there's not been a change of heart, let me put it that way, then you really can't understand this song that we're singing about peace. And we've heard it sung about this morning, we've heard talking about a journey. And you know what? There's a peace in the journey because you know you're going somewhere. Come on! You truly are. Abraham said it like this. He said, I seek a city that has foundations whose builder and maker is God. When you begin, he said, call himself a pilgrim and a stranger. That's what he called himself. And we realize this is just a getting ready place. This is all we are. We're in a place of getting ready. We've had friends and loved ones that was prepared, and they've made the journey this year. We'll read their names here in just a little while before the preachers come. I appreciate what's going on already. But song, I was humming around on it earlier, Brother Robert Brown heard me. I said, you ever heard this? Maybe just a little verse, part of a verse. So he didn't remember hearing it. Some of you I know have heard it. It was called My Peace I Give Unto Thee. I stand here bewildered with wonder and gaze on the ocean of love and over its waves to life's spirit comes peace like a heavenly tide. The cross now covers my sin.
Yes, it does.
The past is under the blood. I'm trusting in Jesus, my own. My will is the will of my God. I struggled and wrestled to win it. The blessing that setteth me free. But when I had ceased from my struggling, His peace Jesus gave unto me. The peace of my soul now is passing. The light of His love is on me. But listen, beloved, He speaketh. My peace I will give unto Thee.
Yes.
The cross now covers my sin. The past is under the blood. I'm trusting in Jesus, my Lord. My will is the will of my God. Thank God for that. I can't ever sing this song without commenting on that second verse. And the songwriter wrote these words, and I feel and I understand exactly what he meant. He said, I struggle and wrestle to win it, the blessing that setteth me free. So many times we feel like we somehow have to wrought salvation from God. But, you know, in our struggling, in our trying to comprehend how the Lord really blesses us, what we have to really come to finally realize and understand is simply a complete surrender is all it is. A complete surrender. And so the songwriter said, when I had ceased from my struggle, so many times we feel like we can accomplish and we can make it happen. But it takes the grace. It's the grace of God. It's not God works, lest any man should boast. And he goes on to say in that final line of that second verse, when I have ceased from my struggling, his peace Jesus gave unto me.
Amen.
Thank God it's not by my works. Thank God it's not by what these hands could done. But it's by the grace of God that he gave me his peace. And I'm so glad that not only has he gave it to me, but all those that have surrendered, have heard and surrendered to the call of the Lord. There's a peace that passeth with anything that you could ever hope to understand. This mind cannot comprehend it. And I praise him for that today. Good place to be. Thank God for what we felt in our heart. I want to give way now to the word of prayer. When you're doing so, we'll ask you if you have prayer requests, if you'd like to make known, so this is a good time to do that. So, is there anybody have a prayer request or something on your heart?
I would like to ask everybody to remember Sister Wanda Malone, Brother Eddie's wife. He called me yesterday evening and left me a message, and then I called him back when I got home and talked with him. But she had stayed home yesterday, and she somehow had missed stepping up on the sidewalk. She fell and broke her kneecap. So he asked me if I would request prayer this morning. I told him I would. So everybody remember Sister Wanda Malone. And also continue to remember Brother H, Sister Pearl Johnson, and to remember Sister Jean Wallen, Sister Kay Short, Brother Bill Spurlock, several folks at Poplar Road that's going through the afflictions of the body. But I hope this morning that we'll humble ourselves and cry out that God will move in somebody's life. Our people are walking the broad road, going down. The writer said he set them in a slippery place. They shall slide right into hell. So let's earnestly pray that God would speak to them and draw them from darkness into his marvelous light. We certainly covet your prayers on our
Is there another?
Still remember Susie gone, but I also want you to remember her husband, Mark. A few years back, he had lost his son. And then a few years after that, he lost his mother. And so I'd like y'all to thank him, give you prayers if you would. Continue to remember Tommy. He talked to him last night. He said he's got to go at least 2 or 3 more times to the doctor, and after that he goes back and see what's going on with that. He told us. Remember
That.
There's a young man in the village I live in that is going through it. Got him locked up at JDC right now, juvenile detention center, and it's about his third or fourth attempt on suicide with my 18 yet. And nothing shy of scary over there, man. It's trying to take him out. And I know the prayer of a righteous man will help much. I'm sure there's many of you here better than that than me. So I get a whole day good for you, spiritual high.
Bless you. This. There's another.
Brother Moderator, I'd like you to remember also, as said yesterday and many times throughout this, that they are the future of everything in the world, whether it's the Spirit of the Lord or the prosperity of our nation. And I'd also like to remember the parents, to temper their minds, to be able to guide them in the right way and hold their tempers back and stuff of that nature. I'd also like to remember a particular woman that uses her children as a weapon against people, against other people involved in the children's lives. I'd like to think that there's something afflicting her that would make her choose those options instead of choosing to turn to the Lord and follow His will. And I just like to pray for all parents, and particularly this one, to please listen to the Lord and follow the truth.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Is there another?
Last night, down there, about 10 of the wedding board, brought up the group, at least a couple of them, Baptist one. Family just a couple years ago lost a son, remember that.
Remember this, family. Is there another?
Same term, we need to remember all of our our children. We pray for all of them, pray for ourselves, that we teach them the way they need to go.
Thank you. Amen. Someone else?
Brother Terry, I want to go and say, thank God for this opportunity that I've had to be here. Sabina has already come and told me that you're praying for Mom, and I do appreciate that. I desire to pray for her and for Dad, for all of us. Her favorite song, I guess, was Better Far From. She's not got long to wait until she'll see that country.
Let's do it.
Thank you for that.
Amen. Amen. It's your sister.
Yeah, but
Do you remember Sister Gordon? Yes, Sister Gordon. And a wonderful soul of the Lord. Somebody else? Go ahead, Malcolm. Another. Your sister. Renee. You have unspoken request, just lift your hand. You'd like to ask the preacher, Chester Flats, Kevin Cross, to come with us.
Be with you, brother. Take the hand of God's anointing. All been anointed by His grace. All been anointed by His grace to be the children of God. He's provided unto all of us a certain measure of faith. Oh, it's a faith from on high, and it's a faith that has a promise. It's a faith that has no end. It's everlasting unto everlasting.
Amen.
He's provided unto each and every one of us a gift with which to serve Him. Oh, when we look in our spirit and in our soul, we can see that gift in the eyes of each and every one of our brothers and sisters. Can't we?
Yeah.
Oh, I can see the gift of faith in many a man that's been sick and down and sorrow. I can see that amongst the brothers and sisters here in their testimony. Oh, I can see those that have been given unto prayer, unto supplication. All those that's been given great wisdom and a great understanding. It's good to be with you this day. It's good to be in the house of the Lord that we might share one more. I ask for your prayers and go to the throne of grace one more time, that He might open up the storehouse, storehouse of grace upon us all, and give us of His abundance, which He would not withhold from any that comes humbly before Him, and turn us all that we have over to Him.
Yeah.
Just as they did unto Joseph in those days. Amen. Turned it all over to Him, had to give Him their land and give Him all the property.
Yeah.
Oh, it meant so much unto them that they might receive the nourishment for this body, the promises thereof. And when they turned it over to Him, they knew they turned their land and all that they owned here on the earth. They turned it unto a faithful one who would give it back unto them in the time that cometh, that they might take that little parcel of land here upon the face of the earth, and that by the grace of God out of it, that they might plant of the corn of the fields of the wheat of heaven, that would fill up the soul of man.
Amen.
To give that very same unto our Lord Jesus.
Bless you, brother.
Please go with us in prayer.
That's,
Kind and gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we come unto Thee as the only true and living God. Lord, we humble ourselves before the throne of grace and mercy. Lord, recognizing, oh God, of Thy sovereignty that comes from on high. Oh Lord, the foundation of the world, let us see that gospel message was surely written. Oh, and that gospel message and that truth. Oh, Lord, it has endured, and Thou hast proclaimed it as Thou hast seen fit. From the foundation of the world, from the creation of man, unto this time right now, Lord, that we draw and bow our head before Thee.
Bless it.
Oh God, we've talked of peace. Oh, the last couple of days and nights, Lord, You blessed it upon all of our minds. Oh, Heavenly Father, that song of whispering sweet peace. Oh, my God of God, word, oh Heavenly Father, Thou ringest into my ear, that was whispered unto me. It's the same as when my Lord followed unto Thy will unto my bosom. Never abhorred the manifested upon the face of the earth, and walked amongst men. Yeah, when he was born in Bethlehem, he did. Yeah, the angels came round about, and they said, peace on earth, goodwill toward all men. There ain't no peace at that time. Oh, shut us so. Men went about making their idols out of the things of the stone and the wood and the rock. Oh, Paul declared this unknown God of the Roman and the Greeks. He said, oh, there was a time that God winked at it. Oh, I don't believe there was a smile on his face. No, but there was one of anger and fury. Oh, when he winked, he turned his eye upon his people. Oh, there was no peace in the land at that time. Years went by that the voice of God had not been heard. And oh, praise God, he did but weep, for he opened his eyes unto his people, and he heard their cry and their call. And then there, at the time appointed, he sent his beloved Son, Jesus Christ, down on the earth, manifested the flesh, laying down his glory on high, that sure so that peace might be on earth. And the goodwill of God unto all of his children whom he did foreknow. Oh, that it might be found unto all men. And so as bring peace. Oh, that my heart heard when the sound came from above, a sweet whisper that drew it to me. Oh, God, surely in these days too, there are those just as in those times that just heard what they thought was the rumbling of thunder. Oh, God, the hardened hearts that were all about couldn't discern the word of God. Oh, but they heard my voice, Lord. You'd have it here that they might look around and they might wonder, oh, what was that sound? It must be thunder. Surely they had it right that it was a voice from on high. But oh, God, those hearts that hear the only rumbling of thunder this day, oh, God, we pray that by thy grace and mercy, thou might take that old hard, stony heart out of their heart. Oh, thou might open up unto them a fleshly heart, a circumcised heart. Oh, Lord, that the Savior's voice can come unto and say, my beloved child, come and take the reward that waiteth for thee. For thine art the Father, and the Father art thine. Yeah. Oh, Lord, let thy voice be heard. Let it be clear and distinct unto the hearts of those who are lost this day, wherever they may be. Lord, there have been many names lifted up here the last few days of the sick and the needy. Oh, God, let us not lean upon the arm of the flesh of man. No, no. Lord, in our trials and in our tribulation, let us joy with joy unspeakable and full of glory in him whom we have not yet seen. Oh, but that is declared alive in our hearts. Let us not fear thee, O God, but let us reverence thee. Let us draw nigh to thee, not with a worldly fear, oh, but one of reverence, a godly fear, knowing that thou art all in all power in heaven and earth is of the Father robes of thy grace, that we might touch it and feel thy virtue this hour. Now, Lord, we pray for these men that cometh before us, Lord, to preach thy holy word. Oh, we've been blessed, dear God. Oh, the people, Lord, you put before us solid men of faith, men that feareth thee in reverence, that knoweth the power of the Almighty God. Oh, you've given us preachers, Lord, that stand upon the solid rock and the true foundation. Lord, I thank you for them. Oh, my heart thanks you for them. Lord, I pray, oh, Heavenly Father, we as the young preachers, Lord, that you bless us with more and more. Let us look unto our elders, God. Let us seek after the truth, Lord, as you have revealed unto them. Let us seek to do the will of God as they have done it so boldly in thy name here upon the face of the earth. We pray for them this hour, Lord. Lord, that from on high you might give them a word of truth. Oh, that then you might give unto them just a couple of crumbs from thy table. Oh, that they might share it to the people that's waiting with a hungry heart. Oh, people that hunger after and thirst after righteousness. Oh, that our ears might be open, Lord, unto what you have to provide to us. Bless them, Lord. Keep them humble in thy word. And let us hear and feel the good spirit and the gospel message that cometh from on high, that will fill each and every soul, O Lord. Go with us now in the rest of this service. We ask for thy mercy and grace this day. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
Certainly appreciate the humble prayer for the throne of grace. I trust we'll continue to pray as we move on into the service this morning. It's time we'll ask you to consider yourself seated in order to transact the business of Saturday morning session. Normally, pretty much all we have is the reading of minutes from yesterday. So this time we'll ask if our clerk is ready for the minutes to be read. So,
made a rookie mistake yesterday and forgot my handkerchiefs. Did better today. Friday morning, October 5th, 2019. Should be October 4th, I'm sorry. The Lord blessed his people as they gathered for the second day of the 167th Association. Sister Zula McCullough, and Brother Marcel Bledsoe led the congregation in singing several songs of Zion. The redeemed will sing the redemption story when they gather together in that blessed home on high. It is an unspeakable joy to be saved from that awful gulf of sin. I'm so glad that Jesus loves me. There's a country to which we're going and heaven holds joy without measure. Elder Terry Sizemore welcomed everyone to the service. Thank God for his leadership and all those that came this way. May God continue to bless our services. We were blessed with special singing from the 5 host churches. Shouts of rejoicing came from all directions, from the stand all the way to the back row, and the Spirit came down on several preachers in the midst of the singing. More people were standing and worshiping God than remained sitting. The preaching and shouting were even louder than the singing. Peace, peace, wonderful peace comes down from the Father through his everlasting promises. Without God's amazing grace, we wouldn't have those wonderful promises. How sweet they sound. There's a crimson river flowing from the cross of Calvary. That river is redemption. It's salvation, and it's our Savior's precious blood.
Amen.
I know that Jesus saved me, and that's enough for me. Spirit was moving mightily, and Elder Terry Sizemore begged any unsaved among us to step forward for the Lord. Prior to salvation, we weren't looking for Jesus, but He was looking for us.
Amen.
Just as He left the 99 to go after that one lost sheep, He was looking for us so that He could save us from that awful place called heaven.
Yeah.
Bless you.
It's an honor to be part of this grand old body. There are many elders that have gone on to be with the Lord, and the best way to honor them is to be obedient to the Spirit as we've done this morning. Prayer requests were made for the unsaved. They're lost and they don't understand the situation they're in. All the prayer requests from the day before, those serving in our country and in the military, our association, the revivals, the young people, our churches, Jim Emery's daughter, H.C. and Pearl Johnson, Colin Smith, Ronnie Leonard, Gene Wallen, Kay Short, Bill Spurlock, Susie Yaunt, Tommy Meade, Daniel Hurd, Frank Gillum, and our new clerk. Many gathered around the altar to lay hands on Brother Ronnie Leonard. Prayer gave way to the Lord preaching through Elder Scott Tipton that Jesus died for you and became the propitiation for your sins, all because He loved you.
Amen.
The delegation was called to order to transact the business. It was motioned and seconded to adopt and voted to adopt the business proceedings of yesterday as read with the change noted by the clerk. And that change was that there were 2 members at Sloantown that voted to cease function instead of just one. Elder Sizemore called for the ministers to meet on the steps after lunch for the annual picture of those ministers. Elder David Van Hoos, having been chosen by the Committee on Religious Exercises, came forward to take the first part of the service. Elder Van Hoos read from the 15th chapter of St. John, taking the 16th verse as his text. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. God chose those that started our churches. As an association, we all stand for the same thing. He put us together to spread the truth. I wrote that with a capital T. He said he put us together to spread the truth. And that's our heritage. If we don't walk together and love and forgive each other, how can we show the world Jesus? Storms will come, but the Lord will provide the increase. His pruning will yield a better fruit. Let's walk together as His children and as Primitive Baptist. Elder Scott Tipton followed with another wonderful message from the Lord. He stated his delight to see the power of the Holy Spirit on His people. Joshua led the children of Israel across Jordan and set up 12 stones as a memorial to show the hand of the Lord is mighty, and that future generations might remember that the Israelites walked across Jordan on dry ground. That memorial was part of their heritage, and this association is part of our heritage.
Amen.
Elijah cried out to God, and the fire came down to consume, to bless those that believed in Him, and to show that the God of Israel was the one true God, and He's our one true friend. We give God all the praise and honor and glory for the Spirit that came down. It came as a mighty rushing wind, yet it still whispered sweet peace to our souls.
Amen.
We were dismissed for lunch with the song, "Someday, some happy day, we'll live with Christ forever." Friday afternoon, October 4th, 2019. The congregation assembled in the school after a superb lunch served by the host churches, and the Lord blessed us with a little cooler weather, as there were fewer fans waving as the schoolhouse was a little cooler. Sister Zula McCullough and Brother Marcel Bledsoe led the congregation in singing several songs of Zion. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore, and we'll live in glory forever. We'll be saved from the wrath and be ever pure with that rock of ages. How firm a foundation is that rock. He is omnipotent and omnipresent and omniscient. I think about what those words really mean. Omniscient means that He's all-knowing.
Big box.
Everybody will be happy over there, but we don't have to wait until heaven to experience the joy that's through and by Jesus Christ. We were further blessed with special singing and testimony for Walker Bales, Tony Smith, Kayla Hale, Amy Bledsoe, and Looking Beyond, which is a group that consisted of Dennis and Karen Stewart and Roger and Sandy Van Hoos. How great thou art, O God, who didn't just make the earth, he hung the stars and decorated the whole universe. That same God sent his only Son to carry our sin burden to the cross. He's the mediator of a better covenant with God. Soon I shall anchor on heaven's bright shore with that same Jesus. There'll be no trouble or death over there. But God's been good to us already. He took our chains away and set us free. Our Savior ransomed us from the unpayable sin debt that we inherited through Adam. He ransomed us through his unending love and his amazing grace. He saved me, and a new life he gave me. He's alive today, just the same as he was on that third and fourth morning. I'm looking forward to that happy time when he beckons me home to stay. What a joy to know the way to heaven, where I'll get to see Jesus face to face. I spelled way with a capital W there too. Over in John, Jesus said, he said, I am the way, and I am the truth, and I am the life, and no man cometh unto the Father but by me. Amen. Elder Sizemore thanked the churches for the bountiful and delicious lunch. Several prayer requests were made, along with many wonderful testimonies. Always remember the unsaved and those serving our country in the military and those families. Remember Clifton Horn's brothers, especially the one that's lost. Eddie Malone's grandsons. Your mom's name, Betty. Betty Sizemore. Karen Stewart's brothers. Paul Searcy's sister, his stepfather, and his family. Elder John Banks blessed us with a humble prayer as he took our petitions to the Lord and asked God to continue to pour out his Spirit upon us. The delegation was seated in order to transact the business. Brother Steve Hunt, chairman of the letter committee, came forward to give his report. The letter committee reviewed and now recommends that we accept the 2 incomplete letters from Irondale and Gardner's Memorial if they answer affirmative to the question on the church letter that they believe and agree to teach and practice according to the articles of faith, the rules of decorum, and the church covenant. No reason was brought forth suggesting the omission was anything but an inadvertent error. The moderator and clerk will check into this. It was motioned, seconded, and voted to accept the letter at a later date and seat the delegates as part of the voting body. The moderator appointed the church letter committee for 2020, which includes Steve Minton as the chair, Robert Brown, Gary Hall, and Danny Lawson. Brother David Horton read the report from the Committee on Religious Exercises. Friday night at the stand was Wally Berry, Keith Holt, and John Banks. Friday night at Swan Creek was Jason Robinette and Scott Tipton. Saturday morning was Bernice Seibert, Oscar Irvin, Terry Sizemore. Saturday night at Swan Creek, Billy Larkin and Keith Holt. Saturday morning in stand, David Parsons, Hunter Hensley. Sunday morning at Swan Creek, Roger Van Hoos. Sunday morning at Poplar Grove, Billy Martin. Brother Danny Lawson, the past clerk, read the resolution of thanks that he had prepared. It was motioned, seconded, and voted to print it in the minutes as read. Elder Terry Sizemore, on behalf of the Committee of Newly Constituted Churches, reported that none had been received. Elder Eddie Malone reported on behalf of the Committee on Finance that $5,740 in receipts have been taken in this year. The chairman thanked each church and individual for their contributions. The Committee on Arrangements Annual Queries reported that no queries had been received. The Committee on Obituaries reported that 33 had been received at this time. I made a mistake there and I double counted some, and we're actually standing at 31 right now. The committee recommended that the obituaries be sent through the church clerk. The deadline is 1 week from now to have obituaries printed in the 2019 minutes. It was motioned, seconded, and voted to follow our original standard that was developed in the 1990s and print these in the minutes. The men chosen to write the circular letter for 2019 were Elder Terry Sizemore and Deacons Ronnie Leonard and Clifton Horn. All came forward as Elder Sizemore read the letter. Its message to each of us was, do you know the spiritual voice of the Lord? It was motioned, seconded, and voted to print the letter in our minutes as it was read. The moderator noted that all committees were dismissed upon delivering their final report. The moderator reported the committee on the circular letter for 2020, which includes Elders Mike Fullington, Keith Holt, and Chris Sally. Brother Clifton Horn brought forth a proposal for the association to purchase a 24-foot enclosed trailer for $4,250 to store and haul the equipment of the association, such as the chairs and tent, etc., from one host church to the next. It was motioned, seconded, and voted to purchase this trailer. Brother Clifton Horn also brought forth a proposal for the association to purchase and install an awning on the mobile kitchen. It would be used when the serving doors are down to cover the food in case of rain. Elder Sizemore nominated Clifton Horn, Danny Lawson, and Scott Tipton to serve on that committee to look into the awning and report back at our next session. Marcel Bledsoe led as everyone sang praises to the Lord as they fellowshiped and took up an offering to help pay for the trailer and for other expenses. A generous donation of $1,400 was received. The moderator reminded the delegation that only those chosen or appointed by the respective churches as delegates were allowed to vote, and the maximum number of votes per church was 4 if all delegates were present. Likewise, if only one delegate was present, then the church would only have 1 vote. There was one church and one group of churches that asked for the association to meet with them next year. That was Fairview and with Copper Creek at Addington Frame, together with Willow Chapel. By a clear majority, the delegation sent the association to Copper Creek, Addington Frame, and Willow Chapel to be held at Copper Creek, where the good Lord willing, we will convene Thursday morning before the first Saturday in October of 2020 for the 168th gathering. The introductory and alternate sermons will be preached by Elder Scott Tipton and Harlan Willis, respectively. Elder Terry Sizemore dismissed us as we were adjourned until Saturday morning, October 5th.
Heard the reading of the minutes. Brother Kevin, good job. Are there any questions, any concerns, anything need to be amended?
Brother, I think he said Saturday morning, stand in the morning with David Carson, Hunter Henson. I think he said Saturday instead of Sunday. It might have just been the way he said it.
He does have Sunday.
Okay.
Is there any other? Appreciate it, wonderful job. I do have one word, Brother Kevin. Used the word nominated the committee. Is that true? When I appointed for the owning, or was that a mistake? She appointed it would be more appropriate. All right. So if that's, and I hope that doesn't, we appreciate that, because I don't want to even point out anything that I thought, this is wonderful. I don't know about you, but I'm truly thankful for what we've heard this morning. I know you are.
Right.
Wonderful. So with these appropriate amendments, there be no other concerns or questions, can I have a move and second? We have any minutes received and printed in a minute. Brother. Amen. You got the main one's approval, brother. Well, maybe not the main one. Move and second. All those in favor, don't say an aye. Those opposed, do likewise. Brother Curtis just got to do something not many people get to do. That's make a second for the minutes read by the clerk of the association by his natural brother. And I think that has to be an honor.
Amen.
Yes, has to be an honor. Appreciate that. Did I take a vote? I did. Did I take a vote? Okay. All right. Sorry about that. We appreciate you guys. I asked Brother Horton if we have another report. I think they gave the final report yesterday for the Religious Exercise Committee. Unless there's something that's outstanding, there's any other announcement from any churches concerning services tomorrow or this evening. Appreciate Brother Horton. Appreciate his report, his service, not him, but the whole committee. All the committees are carried out the function. This all on Saturday morning. We've also reaffirmed, and I didn't ask Sister Brown, are you able to still use your contact information? Okay. Sister Brown is graciously willing to send out emails and information to churches that want to announce revivals or special services. We've been printing her contact information in a minute, and you'll usually find that on the Saturday morning session. So that'll continue to be so as well, without any objection. Then no, your objection is consent. Your silence is consent. We appreciate this part of the service. I guess you could say it's a bittersweet part of the service in a lot of ways. Many of you and many of us have lost loved ones and friends this year. And it's customary that we take just a few minutes before the preaching takes place to read those names. The preachers, if you've heard scheduled already, from the reading of the minutes on yesterday's schedule to preach, Brother Bernard Simon will be taking the first part, and Brother Oscar will be following him, and I'll come to the close of the service, preaching service this morning. But before we get to that point, we'll take and read the names of those that passed from among us. Still, you wouldn't just make me remember. If I mispronounce a name, please forgive my ignorance. You certainly will have made errors in that regard before. There's nothing intentional or disrespectful intended. The list of names for 2019 that we have to read into the memorial service, many if not all of these were brought from the list of obituaries. Ralph Austin Pappy Adams, Poplar Grove. Dora Sue Taylor Bledsoe, Lowview. Azalea Lucy Allen, Blackwater Lake. Edna Bledsoe, Birch Union. Jewel Culberson Clayton, Willow Chapel. Anna Mae Roller Cole, Fireview, Bellbrook. Sister Betty Dotson, Swan Creek. Virgie L. Farrell, Marion Robinette Memorial. Clarice Daughtry Gillenwater, Copper Creek Hazard Frame. Irvin Buck Lee Hager, New Life. Elder Gregory Eugene Hill, Rollers Chapel. Elder Donald Lowell Johnson, New Life. Geneva Collier Jones, Cadet. Dolores Ann Thacker Lawson, Long Hollow. Betty B. Burnett Livingston, Fairview, Bellbrook. Peggy Jane Osborne Mellons, Blackwater Lick, more recently Westview. Benny Morlock, Mount Mitchell. Clarence Morgan, Swan Creek. Andrew Jackson Jack Osborne, Westview. Roland Dwayne Palmer, Copper Creek Addington Frame. Juanita Prophet, Little County. Catherine C. Robinson K., Fairview Bellbrook. Philip Riley Sexton Jr., Marion Robinette Memorial. John Wayne Shelton, Poplar Grove. June Elizabeth Hurd Sizemore, Marion Robinette Memorial. Victor Paul Smith, Copper Creek Addington Frame. Vivian Lee Stroud, Clear Springs, then Macedonia. Eula May Sturgill, Copper Creek Addington Frame. Angela Marie Wallen Larkins, Westview. Clara May Welch, Richardson's Chapel. Donald Williams, Rose Chapel. Is there any names that might be added to that this morning from the floor? We certainly are appreciative of these soldiers of the cross that have moved on to the reward that God has in store for them. And I guarantee those we know and feel and we can sleep in the arms of Jesus, if you will. If there was anything whatsoever as far as able to send back word, they just say, come be where I am. It's a lot better than we could ever have hoped for. I feel confident that would be the word that we'd hear echoed in that from that wonderful place. This wet time, we want to give way to the brethren, to the preaching this morning. We hope this morning we will be much in prayer. We have Brother Burns, if he would, come. Just take his time to speak what the Lord will put on his heart. So if you would give your attention to the pulpit, Elder Burns Simon, pastor of Church at Westview. First part of the message.
It's a privilege to be here this morning, to be able to attend the entire association, to feel the blessings of the Lord that we've felt here in these third day now. I sincerely feel like that every one of our preaching brethren that's among us is much more able to stand here today and try to bring a message about our really departed ones and in memory of them than I am. But we always consider it a privilege to be able to think about them in this way. If my math doesn't fail me, this is the 64th consecutive year that this service has been dedicated to the memory of those that have passed from us in the past year. The first 5 or 6 years that they had this memorial service, it was all just in memory of ministers that had passed that year. But in the early 60s, early to mid 60s, they decided it would be far better to honor all of our members that had passed during the course of the year. When you consider everybody that's been mentioned in these services during that time, the number would be far up in the thousands. And it's a wonderful thing to think about that many people. Sometimes we think of our numbers as being small, and surely they are. They're dropping over the years, just like every organization is. But it's a joy to think that in glory this morning are the souls of so many people that met together and worshiped just as we have in the past few days. Their memories are still precious to us. There were 29 or 31, what the number was this morning, names that were read off. I can remember 40, 45 years ago, probably even more recently than that, the number of times would be up in the 70s and 80s that would be read off. So you consider the fact that this is our 167th annual session. There were 5 years during the Civil War and the year that it ended that we did not have an association. So over 171 years that have passed, thousands and thousands and thousands of Primitive Baptist people have gone on to their reward. They're today in the presence of the Lord. And as we look over the congregation, it won't be very long until a great number of us will join in that number. But the Lord has been good to us. He has truly blessed us. Notice that in addition to Brother Hill, Brother Walt Johnson's name was read off. I think he was also mentioned last year. He had passed before last year's association. We had the privilege over the last number of years to travel quite often with Brother Greg, especially when we went to the churches up in Ohio. It was always a great journey to be able to travel with him, to talk about the goodness of the Lord, to listen to tapes of our older preachers that had already gone on, and the messages had been recorded. We took great pleasure in listening to some of those. Greg loved this association. He had the privilege of being the host pastor at least 3 different times that I can recall, twice at Lower Chapel and once at Flare Gap. And he would have hosted it every year as pastor. The association had been willing to go wherever he was at. And Brother Jason's a cousin of his. He has that same characteristic about him. And we're thankful that we've got ministers and have had ministers over the years of time that were willing to engage in the labor that's required, the leadership that's required in order to get things together to host a great body of people. But most of all, I'll remember remember some of the messages that Brother Gray preached. He was a great minister. He was well versed in the scriptures. He had sought advice over the years of some of the greatest preachers that there were among us. If he had questions about the scriptures, he wasn't bashful about going to someone, talking to them about the scriptures and what they meant, the depth of them. And then he was very good at putting the good news forth to a congregation of people. So we miss him today. We'll miss him for a long time. And I think at this point it'd be a good time to thank Brother Oscar Irvin and Sister Priscilla for the work that they've done in this year's association. They asked Brother Oscar if he would kind of lead them through this after the death of Brother Gray, and he's done so in a great way. We appreciate him, Sister Priscilla, with all that they've done, as well as the members of each one of the 5 host churches. What a great job that you've done, and we certainly appreciate it. Amen. And also, I appreciate the work of our new clerk. The records of our association are in great hands. And I appreciate Brother Danny and Sister Becky for the 30 years that they gave to us. So we are truly blessed as a people. I know we get kind of down on ourselves at times because of numbers, but numbers don't tell the whole story. Amen. The Lord has blessed us. Everything that we have ever needed, the Lord has provided it for us. Amen. And I'm glad that we still have men and women, even young folks, that are willing to take part in this association. This year, for example, from Westview, we sent our youngest members. It's the eldest. The young man that was saved last year, this year he was a delegate. Yes. The brother that was saved 4 or 5 years before him, he stood here the other day and sung for us. Brother Bradley, I believe, he's been doing that since he was about 11 years old. We need to get our young people involved. Amen, brother. Don't just take them in as members of the church, but give them something to do. Amen. Amen. Brother Bradley is helping Zula out as a song leader at Westview. Brother Joe, the younger one, man, what a great reader. Every other Sunday he opens up the service, reads from the scriptures. Wonderful voice, wonderful ability to read. And I wish I had the ability that he has. But I'm glad that the Lord is still working through our young people. We need them because us older ones aren't going to be here that much longer. So if you're privileged to have young people in your church, put them to work. Yes. Let them work out in a public place, somewhere where the church can observe them. Let them gain strength by standing before a congregation of people and talking about the Lord. It'll be great for them and it'll be wonderful for you. Amen. We won't take a great deal of time, we feel, this morning. I told someone earlier that the job of the one that goes first is to lay the foundation, not to build the entire building. So I will try to lay a little foundation and let Brother Oscar and Brother Terry come on and finish the job then. But I hope that you will pray. I'm not in the best shape in the world physically anymore, but I'm a lot better shape than I was last year up in Ohio. I just got out of the hospital up there last year, but I had such a desire to go that I went. And the Lord bless. We can do a lot more this tired, worn-out body than we think we can if we'll just put forth the effort. And if we put forth the effort, the Lord will bless. If I'd stayed at home last year, and I could have very easily, if I'd stayed home, I would have missed out on that wonderful service on Friday. And I'm glad I'm here this year because I wouldn't want to have missed out on that service yesterday. So you all pray for me for a few minutes. I hope that what we read will be something, I know it will be. I know it will be something that these brothers can truly bring a wonderful message from. All the Word of God is wonderful. The 5th chapter of 2 Corinthians. Very familiar portion of Scripture. If you have your Bibles, turn to it and read along with us. And in addition to other problems, I have an eye problem, so I don't see as well as I used to either. But we'll do the best we can. The writer of the Apostle Paul, according to the first verse of 2 Corinthians, Timothy was with him. I don't know how much Timothy contributed to the writing of this letter, but Paul mentioned the fact that the letter was from him and Timothy. So, if I could say one more thing, the Lord blessed us this year with a number of young preachers. We've been praying for that for several years, that the Lord would send call some preachers to come in among us. He did this year. And for you older preachers, take these young ones under your wing and help them along the way. And the younger ones, I would advise you to seek out the help of the older ones. It'll be good for both of you. All right. Now I lost my place. Bear with me a minute. I took my marker out. Okay, reading from the 5th chapter of 2 Corinthians. For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of God and a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. For in this we groan, earnestly desiring to be clothed upon with our house which is from heaven. If so be that being clothed we shall not be found naked. For we that are in this tabernacle we groan, being burdened, not for that we would be unclothed, but clothed upon, that mortality might be swallowed up of life. Now he that hath wrought us for the selfsame thing is God, who also has given unto us the earnest of the Spirit. Therefore we are always confident, knowing that whilst we are at home in the body, we are absent from the Lord. For we walk by faith, not by sight. We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord. Wherefore we labor that whether present or absent we may be accepted of him. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that everyone may receive the things done in his body, according to that he has done, whether it be good or bad. And that's reading through the 10th verse of this 5th chapter of 2 Corinthians. I said you all pray for just a few minutes. You notice that when he started, and if I have a thought, I guess I should leave a text. Sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't. But I suppose if we were going to leave you a text, it would be the assurance or the comfort of the believer. In this that we read, it is not directed to the unbeliever. All of this is directed to the believers at the church at Corinth. When Paul went there and established the church, he found himself among the Gentiles who, in their belief of many gods, believed that upon death you just became a spirit floating around out there somewhere.